審3個團體合辦嘅，咁我哋都要長租都要開支，咁同埋如果大家支持我哋多啲邀請一啲國際級嘅老師嚟咧，咁就可以。如果你有能力就捐錢俾我哋啦，冇能力就俾1蚊我哋啦，咁我哋都好開心嚇。咁所以就唔阻大家咁多時間嚇，咁我就不如請KK，咁好感謝KK今日專程帶我聽經，咁但係如果你哋即係品嚐過咧，咁今日好難得嘅機會啊！咁平時都係啲好特殊嘅場先欣賞到嘅，咁我將時間交俾KK有嘢。非常謝謝KK。
microphone. This one.
大家好，首先好感謝 KK 老師用 handpan 送俾我哋一啲好溫暖啦，好讓我哋好KK 都係喺香港好有心嘅一位靈性嘅導師嚇，咁有機會都好值得跟隨 KK 老師學習。咁今日我哋好榮幸邀請到一位我哋非常欣賞嘅國際級嘅靈性嘅老師嚇。咁啊 Ron Young 啦，咁 Ron Young 係曾經同海靈格即係家庭系統排列嘅創辦人 Bert Hellinger 一齊合作，咁佢 develop 咗一個叫 spiritual constellation， 即係海靈格嗰個係家庭系統排列啦，咁而 Bert Hellinger 係靈性排列嚇，咁有機會大家上網佢有做，佢分享過好多無論文字或者即係 video 嘅分享，關於即係 what is spiritual constellation， 什麼是靈性排列嚇，咁今日好多謝大家，咁我渴望對大家好有價值。咁今日咧其實係3個團體一齊合辦嘅，係綠野林啦、扎根於心啦，同埋自在社3個團體一齊合辦嘅嚇，咁好開心啦嚇。咁綠野林就係祥哥啦，周兆祥博士啦，扎根於心就係可凡啦，就係今日嘅翻譯啦，陣間會出現嚇。咁我哋陣間會傳個 donation box， 原因咧就係今日都要俾長租啊，咁我哋都希望 cover 翻個 cost 啦。咁同埋如果你支持我哋去邀請更多國際級嘅老師嚟香港咧，都歡迎你哋，純粹係隨緣落座嘅啫嚇。咁今日好，所以好衷心感謝大家。咁你就唔阻大家咁多時間啦。咁我諗我哋可以正式邀請Ron Young 出場。講多樣，Ron Young 老師喺呢個 weekend 呢個週末咧就會有一個會有一個3日嘅課程嘅嚇。咁如果大家有興趣，可以喺隔離好多 QR code， 或者你打綠野林3個字喺 Facebook， 即係周兆祥博士創辦嘅綠野林，綠色嘅 綠色嘅綠咧，綠野林啦，咁就會有個3日嘅 workshop 嘅 details 嘅，咁啊3日仲會有特別嘅優惠嚇，咁啊最後剩翻幾個名額。So tonight it's truly a great honor to have Ron Yan, a very prestigious spiritual teacher, healer, guru that I truly respect and appreciate. And okay, and also thank you, Kor Fan, for tonight's translation. So let's applause for Ron Yan, Sarah, and Kor Fan. Thank you.
Can we move the... Okay. Where are you going to sit? Here?
I will sit here.
Here? Okay. And then put your chair. Put the other chair here. Now. Okay. And what song are you?
No, I finished. I finished all just then.
Okay, okay. All right, so we take the chair out.
咁所以我哋而家會傳個 donation box 嘅嚇，咁我將時間交俾可凡，交俾 Ron Yan 老師，我再俾啲掌聲 Ron Yan 老師好嘛？
Okay. Okay. Is there space for that, or we go back? Okay. Testing.
得唔得？
Okay, testing.
試咪試咪。
I welcome all of you.
咁啊，歡迎所有人嚟啦！
It's an honor to be here.
我好榮幸今日喺度。
Excuse me? No. We start by, I ask you to open through the heart field.
咁我哋開始嘅時候咧，我邀請你打開你心嘅腸胃。
And embrace everyone in the room and bring them in.
咁我哋擁抱我哋在座呢間房所有嘅人入嚟。
So you're opening, embracing, welcoming everyone to the heart field.
所以我哋係打開緊、擁抱緊、歡迎所有人入嚟。
So that we are here together.
咁樣我哋就會一齊喺度，
Opening together, listening together.
一齊打開，一齊聆聽。
We've come to a very difficult time in our evolution as human beings.
作為人類嘅進化，我哋已經嚟到一個好關鍵嘅時刻。
What does that mean?
咁意會住乜嘢呢？
Take out your telephone.
你可以攞出你個電話啦。
Just take it out, put it in your hand for a minute.
咁啊，你隻手可以而家揸住佢先。
The last 20, 30 years, where have we been existing?
咁我哋過去20-30年，我哋存在喺邊度呢？
Hello?
Hello，
Where do we spend our time?
我哋花嘅時間會喺邊度呢？
Who is the best friend?
邊個係你最好嘅朋友呢？
How many hours a day do you speak talking to your telephone?
你一日花幾多時間同個手機一齊呢？
How many times a day do you look to see if there's a message waiting?
你一日會花幾多時間去睇下？咦，有冇信息呢？
I'm not against telephones, guys.
咁我唔係對抗手機呢件事嘅。
But we've become divided within ourselves.
咁但係喺我哋裏邊咧，我哋好似分離咗。
The material body is living in biological time.
我哋個物質性身體咧，就係用生理嘅時間嘅存在。
It's in sun and moon cycle.
佢係跟住個太陽同月亮嘅周期。
If you talk to any tradition, there's a tradition for most traditions of the world of remembering the ancestors, of remembering those who came before us.
如果你睇翻世界各國嘅傳統咧，我哋都會記得翻我哋嘅祖先嘅。
How do we do that?
咁我哋係點樣記得翻佢哋咧？
What are the markers of the remembrance?
我哋會用乜嘢印記去記得翻佢哋咧？
We can talk. Anyone have a...
我哋可以有一個對話嘅，有人有啲嘢想分享。我哋會點樣記得翻我哋嘅祖先咧？
I don't just hold this.
through dreaming 發夢 through dreaming。
Okay, dreaming. What else?
仲有咧？
What are the mementos? What are the images of the ancestors?
我哋會有咩記憶，有咩畫面啊？諗起
Your
祖先嘅時候，
grandparents.
譬如諗起你祖父母嘅時候，
You have a photograph?
你有冇佢哋嘅相片咧？
There is a point where we stopped living in biological time.
咁我哋有一刻咧，我哋就已經停止咗喺生理嘅時間存在。
Within the human rhythm of the system, which means also the intelligence, the introspection, the heart field, the full perception, active within ourselves creatively.
咁呢個就係人類嘅節奏啦。咁包括我哋內在嘅感官啦，我哋嘅直覺啦咁樣。一個創造嘅意識裏面。
At this point, the body is living in biological time.
咁喺呢刻咧，我哋個身體咧就存在喺生理嘅時。
But the mind has gone into digital frequency.
但係我哋個腦袋咧就進入咗數碼嗰個頻率喎。
And the image of source is no longer original mind or source, it's digital frequency.
而我哋理解嘅本源就變成唔係一個本相嘅本源，而係一個數碼嘅頻率。
So the mind is in digital frequency. You attune yourself to digital frequency.
咁我哋腦袋咧就跟咗呢個數碼嘅頻率，嘟嘟嘟嘟嘟嘟嘟，我哋已經同佢調頻啦。
The image of ourself in time and space is still the material form.
我哋對自己存在嘅畫面都係物質嘅。
But now we're living in digital frequency all day long.
但係我存在咧就喺數碼嗰個頻率，成日都係咁樣。
And what do we do?
咁我哋做乜嘢咧？
We take hundreds of photos of ourselves
我哋會影好多相，影自己嘅相，
as a marker in time.
去記憶翻我哋喺呢個時間嘅存在。
This is what I did today. This is where I was today. I'm marking my time, myself, into my material body with an image of remembering who I am.
我今日喺邊度做咗乜嘢？我哋會用一幅相片去記得翻印記我喺呢個時間存在過嘅。
Because I'm no longer living in this, I'm living in a digital frequency of the image of myself.
因為我哋存在再唔喺呢一度，我已經存在喺一個數碼嘅頻率。 當中。
We used to make a few photographs.
我哋以前都好少影相嘅。
And we had images of those who came before us.
咁我哋就有幾幅可能我哋前人嘅相片啦。
Now we make photographs of ourselves all day long.
而家我哋就成日影自己嘅相片啦。
Think about it.
大家諗下呢件事。
I'm sitting here in my material body. I'm photographing myself all day long. I'm making a marker that I'm actually here. But I'm not living here. I'm living in a different frequency.
大家可以諗下，我存在喺呢個物質身體，我喺度影緊我呢度嘅相片，而我用呢個相片而記憶我而家喺時間嘅存在，但係我唔係真係活在喺呢一度嘅。
So I'm giving a remembrance to myself.
咁所以我係記憶返自己喎。
I know it's very strange to think like that.
係咪好奇怪咧呢件事？
Moving to the creative level of our nature, it takes great power.
如果我哋要移動去我哋創造嘅本質嗰度咧，係需要好大嘅力量嘅。
Because it calls for me, for you, for each of us to be present fully to ourselves.
因為佢係需要我哋我啦、你啦，我哋一齊好臨在於當下。
But we don't know what that means anymore.
但係我哋已經唔知呢個係咩嚟㗎啦。
Because we're too busy running through the digital field of the immediate creation like this. Everything's like this now.
因為我哋已經喺度奔跑緊喺呢個數碼嘅頻率咁樣跟住咁樣呢個創造。
We're very good at pushing buttons.
我哋撳掣好叻喎。
And the instant response, it's instant response.
有得返一個即時嘅回應。
And so we've lost the movement of inner discipline, of the power of using the mind, because there's no need anymore.
咁我哋冇咗呢個內在嘅紀律，點樣用我哋個心字個 mind，因為已經好似冇需要啦。
We don't need to think.
我唔需要諗嘢咯。
You just open the phone and push a button, it gives you the answer.
我哋只係開個手機，撳個掣就已經有答案啦。
And now the beautiful AI has arrived.
咁而家 AI 已經嚟咗啦。
And the humanity in many ways will become useless.
咁人類就已經冇用咯。
Now I'm not giving you a negative, I'm just talking, observing.
我唔係講啲好負面嘅嘢，我只係講一啲觀察。
It's for each of us to decide how we live our lives.
我會俾翻大家有翻個選擇權，點樣去活著你嘅生命。
In the old tradition, you were working very hard to find the creative voice of your nature.
喺以前嘅傳統咧，你會好努力工作，揾翻你自己創造嘅聲音。
And that meant you had to exclude all the influences to find the voice of who I am, what I am.
咁咧，所以咧你就要排除其他嘅聲音，去真係揾到你自己嗰把聲音。
And then you had those moments of insight. You had the moments of great opening. But then you had to find the way to let that hold you all day long at work, the family, and the remembrance and the self-knowing of who I am.
咁可能你會得到一啲啟發啦。咁但係咧，你要好又揾到一個能力，可以成日都係打開住 hold 住呢一個能量嘅，無論你喺工作上啊、屋企啊等等都係。
And it was always very, very difficult. It didn't matter the era or the time of humanity. It's very difficult for us to pay attention at a deep level to ourselves.
咁無論咩世代，其實呢一種喺專注翻自己呢個修練，都係唔一件簡單嘅事嚟嘅。
So now we have great distraction.
咁我哋而家好多錯位。毀爛錯 destruction sorry 一啲毀爛嘅嘢咯。
For many people, very difficult to focus.
我哋好難去專注。
And then you have many people doing that multitasking.
咁我哋可能同時又做好多樣嘢。
And we're going to do 20 things in 2 minutes.
咁我哋2分鐘內咧會做20樣嘢喎。
And at work, if you don't do 30 things in 5 minutes, you may get in trouble.
咁喺工作上咧，如果5分鐘內你做唔到30樣嘢咧，咁咧可能咧你就會俾人鬧啦。
And you disappear yourself.
咁你就會令你自己消失。
You end up exhausted, empty, stressed out.
咁啊，你會好受壓啦，你會好空虛啦，咁啊好疲累。
I don't know if that ever happened to anybody here.
咁我唔知你有冇經歷過呢件事啦。
You lose your sense of humor.
咁啊，你變得冇幽默感啦。
And you have to keep a sense of humor if I'm talking here tonight.
咁啊，如果你要聽老師講咧，你就要保持一份幽默感喎。
It's not lost.
唔好迷失咗呢件事。
But the body's in biological time. Your mind has not gone to frequency of your nature. It's gone to frequency of the digital frequency, which is the imitation of source field.
咁我哋個身體咧就處於呢一個生理上嘅時鐘啦、時間啦。咁但係我哋就唔係跟住本源呢一個頻率度，我哋去咗一個數碼嘅頻率嗰度。
So originally, in all the great traditions of the world, you learn to sit within yourself.
咁喺所有世界各國嘅傳統裏邊咧，我哋就學啦點樣安坐於自己嘅。
Years of sitting just to become present.
咁可能你要花好多年嘅修練啦，去臨在於當下。
And there was that reality of entering into the place with no time.
咁啊，亦都會你會進入，不過實上咧係冇時間嘅。
Existing consciously with no time.
你個意識就會存在喺一個冇時間嘅地方。
Now we have that sense. We push the button on the phone.
而家我哋就有，喺手機撳一個掣。
And 1,000 miles. The person we're talking to is 1,000 miles away.
而我哋同1000里以內嘅人就可以對話啦。
No time.
呢個係冇時間嘅感覺。
No space, no distance.
亦都好似冇咗距離嗰個空間咁。
But within original mind, that took great work to live in that reality. But here we don't get to that. We get to just be in the imitation of that.
咁喺如果講靈修嚟講啦，你要好大嘅修練先可以存在喺呢個冇時間嘅狀態。但係而家好似撳個掣就已經發生咗啦。
And it leads us further and further and further away from our nature.
但係呢個就令我哋對我哋個心啦，同我哋個本質越嚟越有距離。
And so we live in this place of forgetting ourselves and taking photos of our material body. I'm here. I'm here.
咁所以我哋開始遺忘咗自己啦。我猛喺度影相，就以為自己喺度。
It used to be that other people took photos of us.
以前咧係要其他人影我哋識個相嘅喎。
And now we mark time all day long with photos of us.
而家我哋就用呢啲相片就印記我哋自己嘅時間。
This is where I was today. This is what I did today.
今日我就去咗呢度，今日我就喺呢度存在過。
We don't think about it. We just do it.
我哋都冇諗啦，已經好冇為意咁樣去做嘅呢件事。
How are we doing?
大家點咧？
The difficulty is coming back to ourselves.
嗰個挑戰就係點樣翻嚟我哋自己嗰度。
All of us as human beings, no matter our status in life, no matter the culture, no matter high or low, it's the same structure.
我哋所有人無論係咩文化、咩地位，其實我哋都係同樣嘅結構嘅。
But we've not been taught anymore in terms of how to access ourselves at a deep level.
但係咧，我哋都冇受到教育點樣可以喺一個好深嘅層次去接觸自己喎。
And many people have a deep anxiety that there's something missing, but they don't know how to get to it.
好多人都有一種感覺，有一種好大、好深嘅憂慮，但係又唔知道點樣可以接觸去解決呢件事。
How many of you are new to meditation?
有邊個咧係係咯好入門嘅做靜心，啱啱學做靜心嘅。
And how many of you have a practice of sitting with yourself each day?
邊個已經有一個打坐靜心嘅習慣嘅咧？請舉手。
Beautiful, beautiful.
好美麗啊！
Thank you.
多謝你哋。
When I was young, I'd been through some years of training.
咁我後生啲嘅時候咧，我就得到好多培訓啦。
And a woman came and she said, "Your work is to help human beings remember who they are."
咁有位女士同我講啦，你嘅工作就係協助人類記得翻佢哋係邊個。
Because the machines are coming back.
因為嗰陣時啲機器就開始興起翻嚟啦。
And it was 1981. I had no idea what she was talking about.
咁嗰陣時係1981年，我都完全唔知佢講乜嘢。
But now the machines have come back.
咁佢而家周圍都係機器啦。
And it's very difficult for us to remember who we are. You understand?
咁而家呢個世代好難記得翻我哋本質係乜嘢，我哋係邊個。
So we keep taking those photographs.
咁所以我哋猛喺度影自己嘅相片。
Have a sense of humor, everybody.
好啦，大家有啲幽默感啦，唔該。
Now, the creative voice, each of us, we're living deeply within the creative voice. Very difficult to access, very difficult to let it hold us, very difficult to allow it to develop our deeper language through us.
我哋好多人想接觸我哋更深層創造嘅聲音，咁但係去接觸佢係好難，點樣持續去維持佢，亦都係好難嘅。
You have many insights. Everyone here has had many moments of great insight and understanding.
我哋在座每一個人都曾經有好大嘅啟發。
The difficulty is the permission to allow that space to hold us.
最困難咧就係俾一份准許，用佢嗰個空間咧去包容我哋。
And so it becomes a discipline to the movement of who we are to listen deeply each day.
咁所以變成需要一份紀律，佢真係能夠聆聽我哋自己本質，我哋係邊個。
In the beginning, it's mechanical.
咁開頭可能係要一啲機械式嘅方式。
And it doesn't need to be formal, sitting in a chair or on the floor of meditation.
咁不一定要盤膝打坐喺張凳或者一個cushion上邊嘅。
It's a sense of being aware of the inner nature as you walk the street. To have that second position of mind inside, awareness, as you're doing everything you're doing at work.
呢個就算行街，如果我哋可以有一個意識，呢個第二個心智去睇翻自己，呢個維持到都係好好。
So that in the middle of everything you are present, you're not swallowed up by the doing of what you're doing, but you're held by the greater nature, the sense of what I am, as you do and live your life.
所以無論我哋做乜嘢，我哋都能夠可以俾呢一個本質呢種感受去維持我哋做乜嘢都係俾佢帶住。
In that movement, we have the beginning of what I would call compassion.
而呢個移動就係我會形容為慈悲心嘅開始。
The movement of a great opening of the heart field, holding, emanating compassion, love in everything you do.
咁呢個咧就係個心嘅場域開始喺度打開緊、滲透緊你做嘅每一樣嘢。
You're doing the mechanical, but the movement of the emanating compassion is holding you consciously.
你可能好機械式咁樣去做某啲嘢啦，練緊某啲嘢啦，咁但係你個慈悲嗰個場域喺度滲透緊。
And so the life at the end of the day isn't empty exhaustion, stress.
咁所以你每日完咗嘅時候，你唔係好消耗同埋好有壓力嘅。
The day has become also a movement of regeneration in which you are included in the midst of the work, in the midst of the difficulty. Regeneration, 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 renewal.
咁所以就有一個移動，令你自己生命都有個更新。就算你處於一啲困境或者壓力之中，你都係不斷被更新緊嘅。
At that point, you're opening to the creative nature.
咁喺呢一度咧，我哋就開始打開呢個創造嘅維度。
The boundary is not the digital world anymore.
你個限制就唔係一個數碼嘅頻率啦。
You're not waiting for the phone. You're not waiting for the message.
你已經唔再等待一個消息或者一個信號啦。
You're living in a deeper field where you're taking everything as it comes, but you're being held within this deeper field of your nature, heart field, compassion, mind.
咁你就處於一個更深層嘅場域，所有嘢行埋嚟你就接過嚟咁樣。
Everybody will say, "What's wrong with you?"
咁啊，其他周邊人就問你做緊乜嘢啊？
You're not angry anymore. You're not irritated anymore.
如果你再冇之前嗰種憤怒或者嗰種煩躁咧，
And they'll get very upset with you.
跟住可能佢哋都唔 happy 嘅喎。
So most of you here, I call you the healers of the world.
在座好多嘅人，我會形容你哋為世界嘅療癒師。
You're the ones who always give to everybody.
你哋就係不斷付出俾他人嘅
And you're
人。
going to carry everybody. You're going to make it better for everybody.
你可能孭住好多人，亦都令好多人嘅生活更好。
And the marker that you're doing a good job is that you will be exhausted.
而你以為我做得好咧，就係當我做完之後，我會好攰。
I did good today.
咁我先做咗好嘢。
I know this because I did everything. I'm exhausted.
我已經盡我所能，所以咧我好被消耗啦。
Anybody like that?
有冇人係咁樣嘅咧？
Nobody.
有一個 one
One person.
一個人，兩個人，
All right, 2 people.
兩個人啦。
I'm not going to win the lottery.
我中唔到六合彩咯，哎呀！
Now, how do you do everything you're doing and end up in the place of regeneration at the end of the day?
你點樣可以做你而家做嘅嘢，同時候一日完咗之後，你有一個更新嘅能力咧？
How do you let that aspect of your nature carry?
你點可以用呢一個本質嘅面向去承載住你咧？
Which means you're navigating the stress, you're navigating all the expectation, you're responding, but you're held from center.
咁所以咧，你係能夠有能力回應啦，咁樣去穿插於嗰啲壓力啊、期望啊等等，但係你就係歸於中心咁樣活着嘅。
How do you agree to this way of living? How do you agree to being held in this root of your nature?
你點樣可以認同呢一個生活嘅方式，容許你呢一個本質幫你扎根咧？
Anyone have an idea?
有冇人有概念啦？有啟發想分享咧？
Any suggestions?
有冇人有提議我哋點樣可以咁樣活着咧？
I'm having a conversation, I'm serious.
咁都希望同大家有個對話嘅。咁華生有個咪。
We have a microphone.
我中文啊，好似每日都好似梳頭咁樣梳理自己咯，即係大家啲標謝咗嘢，真係多謝。
So every day, just like combing my hair, I will organize everything.
So when you comb your hair, you organize your system.
咁你梳頭嘅時候，你都幫你自己處理成個系統。
Right, you clear the etheric of the day. You clear the field that you went through that day.
你都係清洗緊你以太體嘅場域咁樣，
Beautiful.
好美麗嘅。
Anyone else?
其他人咧？
Okay. There was a question.
Yeah, every morning I have time for myself. Before after I wake up, I do the exercise, and at the same time I say the prayer. And this is a quiet time for me because I will think what I did yesterday, the good things that I think, and today what will I do so that I'm happy and other people will also be very happy.
Good.
This is for myself. About 45 minutes, but it's good for me.
Beautiful.
咁我每日大概會俾45分鐘自己啦，係俾我自己嘅時間嘅。咁我會自己俾一個空間啦。咁我亦都會反思我之前個人可能做過乜嘢。
That's very deep practice of introspection. Very beautiful.
呢個係一個好深層去內觀自己嘅練習。
Who else?
其他人呢？
好簡單，去三角飲杯咖啡，靜低落嚟嗰時，讓自己靜，即係15至20分鐘又好，半小時又好，即係睇下自己時間。
Well, it's very simple. I will drink a cup of Starbucks, maybe like give myself 10, 20 minutes or half an hour to just calm down.
Okay. Good. Beautiful.
好美麗啊！
Who else?
其他人呢？
In the back?
後邊嘅朋友，山頂嘅朋友。
From every morning when I go to work, I have to walk from the metro. From metro to my working place, I will say to myself, today is a beautiful day, I'm going to have a good day, everybody going to be happy, and I'm going to have a good day with everybody.
Beautiful.
咁我每日翻工嘅時候，由地鐵去我翻工嘅地方，我就會同自己講：哇，今日咧真係好美麗啦！我會好開心，所有人都會有一個好好嘅一日。
And do you stay in that all day long?
咁啊，但係你有冇成日都維持到呢個狀態咧？
Wait.
Up to lunch.
直到食飯時候。
So after lunch, you're thinking, soon I'll be leaving to go home.
咁係咪食完飯就諗我就嚟翻屋企啦？哈哈。
After lunch, I see everybody, and everybody gonna upset me.
What was that?
After lunch I see everybody and everyone upsets me 咁啊食咗飯之後咧就見到人啊，咁啊啲人喺度令我煩躁。
Okay. All right. Who else?
其他人咧
Over there. Okay.
In the morning, I would try to start my day with a journal, with a gratitude journal.
Beautiful.
And I would talk about each important person in my life. Why am I thankful for my daughter? Why am I thankful for my son? Why am I thankful for my husband? Why am I thankful for my father? That's how I started.
Beautiful.
咁我每日就會寫日記啦，咁我會感恩我個仔啦、我個女啦、我爸爸啦、我老公。
So in the journaling, you're bringing yourself back into human time.
咁啊，寫日記嘅過程中，你將你自己帶翻入嚟人類嘅時間，
Beautiful.
好美麗。
Someone's in the back had their hand.
正話後邊有人舉手係咪咧？
Oh, over there.
我就會每日朝早做瑜伽同埋做 meditation 咯。咁跟住夜晚我都會做嘅。咁工作嘅時間啦，只要有時間我都會做咯。即係譬如我會觀照我自己嘅呼吸啦，好多時會守住我自己嘅呼吸，呢個學緊嘅一件事。咁盡量守翻個呼吸，喺翻當下感覺到呼一吸。跟住就我會遇到我周邊嘅人，我就會用感激嘅心去對待佢哋咯。咁同埋我會送佢哋係最好嘅嘢就係我嘅笑容咯，咁樣咯。
最好嘅嘢就係我嘅
個笑容。
Okay, so
即係用笑容去同佢哋去建立一個關係咯。咁佢哋都回翻嚟我嘅嘢嘅，所以我好。
So I will do meditation and yoga in the morning, also at night, and whenever I have time in the day, I will be aware of my breathing. And I will also give a smile to the people around me and be grateful to them. And this smile will be a kind of dialogue.
Beautiful.
Okay,
Again,